Umpire number 3, Steve McBurney, with the ball in his hand. The other field umpires tonight, they'll be rotating 4. Jason Armstrong, number 26, Chris Cameron's number 19, and Brent Pauly wearing number 45. So week 3 of the NAB Cup, and this match between the Suns and the Swans underway here at Blacktown, and already McVeigh involved in the play, getting the ball out wide towards the broadcast wing. Craig Bird strongly tackled there by Jesse Lonergan. An example of the youngster's strength there too, and Lonergan in that tackle there, Steve.
It certainly was, as we mentioned before the game. He's a solidly built young fella, and he's certainly made an impact off the field, and a very solid body.
And the other new signing this week, Zach Smith contesting the ruck there for the Swans. The ball close to the boundary line once again. Bird, pouncing opportunity, got the quick kick away. Spoiled by Wilkinson there on the half back line. And Rory Thompson and Sam Reid. Looks an interesting matchup earlier there, Thompson and Reid.
Yeah, certainly Rory Thompson's been fantastic for us this pre-season. He's probably the quiet achiever down there in the back half, and as a goal coaster he's really played some good footy.
And from the ruck contest, which Canadian Mike Pike conducting there, the Suns able to get the clearance though towards the centre of the ground. Well done by Sam Day. Had live wire Jack Martin running past him, but he's strongly tackled though by Andreas Everett. Umpire McBurney said it was held to him, so he will dutifully bounce the ball on the centre wing here at Blacktown on the broadcast side. Early stages, still no score. Andrew Brown, Steve Wilson with you on Suns and Swans TV tonight. And Jago O'Meara, don't we like to see that, a clearance from the number 1 for the Gold Coast Suns. Couldn't quite find the target, and Armstrong cleans up for the Sydney team out on the outer side through Grundy. He goes up forward. Contest as both teams try to look on the board early stages. Big Jesse White kicked a goal last week for Sydney. Can't go past him on that occasion. Wilkinson wearing the heavily thigh straps there, Steve. Kicks the ball long, looking for Day in a contest there up against Johnson. And once again the ball's gone out of bounds. Just outside attacking 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. I will say at this point that Carlton, if you're wondering, have made it through to the NAB Cup Grand Final next week. It will be held at Etihad Stadium, despite the narrow 3-point loss to Adelaide last night, as Geelong defeated North Melbourne at Geelong earlier this afternoon. We'll go through the other results when we can, as Sydney deliver the ball up towards the outer wing. Riscatelli, acting skipper for tonight, happy to see the ball over the line. Jude Bolton looking for a free kick. Might have come off the boot there of Riscatelli, in fact. Must have come off
Michael's boot there, but the Swans moving forward now, Brownie.
And the ever-present Jude Bolton, of course, along with Goods, making their debuts in 1999. The ball close towards the goal line. It might have snuck through there for Sydney. Bounced through. Lewis Roberts-Thompson happy to see it through. So the Swans on the board in the first 3 minutes here at Blacktown. And the Swans move on to one goal, 6 points. And the Suns yet to score. 3 minutes played.
Certainly been a tight tussle early, Brownie. Jago O'Meara's been, well, he's had a couple of kicks away from a couple of stoppages there, which the coaches will be really happy about. Early on last week, it's an area we struggled in, but Jago's been managed to get his hands on the footy there a little bit, which is fantastic. So the ball back in the centre, and this time umpire Cameron's to do the duties, and repeating those scores from earlier today. Richmond defeating Hawthorn by 1 point in Tasmania, 13-7-85. Hawthorn 13-6-84. St Kilda too good for Melbourne, 91-66. The ball back in the centre. And Everett there picking the ball up for the Swans. Over to Pike and turn to Armstrong. Just short of centre, looking for the big arms of Sam Reid. But good recovery there by Rory Thompson. Broke a tackle as well there for the Gold Coast. Sends the ball out wide. And coming through O'Meara once again. Had Martin on a lead, just missed the target unfortunately. The experience of Ted Richards able to clean up there for Sydney, and they can come away through. Ryan O'Keefe getting his first touch for the night, and McVeigh involved in the play once again. The ball didn't go 15 metres. Here's Rampy, kicked a super goal last week for Sydney, looking for Lewis Roberts-Thompson once again. But good work there in defence by Tommy Murphy, the former Hawk, now of course playing for the Gold Coast Suns. And the ball's delivered now on the broadcast wing. Aaron Hall, the Suns players, looking to move forward. Lonergan involved the play again, backing back and showing courage with Zach Smith. The ball taken away from him though by Sydney, who delivered the ball long. And certainly the play between the two half back lines at the moment. Trying to break the tackle there was Murphy, couldn't quite do so. And the bounce on the centre wing. See the two new Suns recruits there, the mature age bodies of Murphy and Broughton getting involved, which is fantastic.
So Swans with the early goal. Good tackle laid there by Aaron Hall. Been a lively forward, as we know, and looking to progress from last year's season. Ball played in front of Sydney there, and Parker just kicked it into Lewis Robert Thompson. Pretty vacant forward lines at the moment, and scrummage there. Stanley showing courage for the Suns, trying to get in and under, pick up the ball. And good to see Danny Stanley too involved.
Really is, Brownie. Third in the best and fairest last year for the Suns, and it's his first game back this pre-season in the season. Swallow
with the all-important clearance for Gold Coast. Only got as far as the half-back line. He showed good return of form last week at Townsville. Swallow.
He certainly did. Probably struggled to his own admission in the first game at Metricon there against Hawthorn and also Brisbane, but probably our best player last week in Townsville.
So Alex Johnson with the ball for Sydney. Just went short to the outer side. Armstrong, umpire calls it a play on. Bit of kick to kick here as Sydney try and switch play and open the play up. Teddy Richards. He's got big Jesse White there, just short of centre wing, and takes a comfortable mark. So White elects to go in short and finds Luke Parker. Of course, played an interchange start on the interchange for last year's grand final. Does have, of course, have a premiership medal. McVeigh at centre half forward. The lead is on out wide and spots Reid up on a lead and delivers perfectly as you would expect. And McVeigh, of course, co-captain of the Sydney this year, along with Kieran Jack. That announcement during the week. And Reid, a set shot for goal, 45 metres out, trying to add to the goal previously scored there by Josh Kennedy. The first one on the board tonight for Sydney. So Reid lays back, and unfortunately for him, has missed everything, and the ball out of bounds on the full. So Swans don't add to their score. They are 6 points, 1 goal 6. The Suns still yet to score. We've played 7 minutes of the opening term. The Suns seeing the ball out, looking there for Day. Good spoil from Day from behind there, away from Reid. So the umpire will come in and throw the ball back in. I mentioned the re-signing. Zach Smith, only one of the re-signings announced this week, playing tonight.
Yeah, Trent McKenzie was the other one of the 5. He's obviously coming back from that knee injury, and they're taking the time with him this year, Trent, because we rushed him back last year, probably to the club's admission. So hopefully he can get his knee right. He's back training with the group now, and he's doing a modified program. So I think we'd like to see him get 3 or 4 games in the knee full side and get himself back to full fitness before he comes back into the seniors.
O'Meara laying a strong tackle there on Parker, and the ball out of bounds, but Kennedy is so dangerous around those clearances. Got the ball to Bird, pushing the back there, should go to Swallow. It does against Kennedy. So that's an interesting matchup if those two are running together, Swallow and Kennedy. Got the ball over to Burnell, of course Polly Farmer medalist in the Indigenous game against Richmond in the NT a few weeks ago. And the Suns obviously look for a target up across that half-forward line, but it's pretty hard to get past this Swans defence, as we know. And it was that defence that helped them win that premiership last season.
Some tall targets up there at the minute. Zach Smith's resting up forward. Dan Gorringe is there, and also Stephen May. Stephen May played really well as well last week in Townsville. He's a big body and has looked promising up forward.
So boundary throw-in takes place, and Kennedy involved in there with Dave. Because the 2 number 12s there. And it's a bit of a rolling maul, and he's played it against Day. So
interesting decision, Brownie.
The Swans best and fairest from last season, a premiership year. It's obviously pretty special to a player, and Josh Kennedy achieving that feat last season. Over to McGlynn, another former Hawk. The 2 former Hawks combining on that occasion. Down across that half-forward line, Craig Bird keeps it in for Sydney, but not for too long. Another boundary throw-in just outside the Swans attacking 50, outer side of the ground. Swans leading it, 1 straight 6. Gold Coast yet to score. On the boundary throw in, this time it's Jesse White up against Sam Day, and good work from the Suns. Jack Martin goes for a bit of a fly behind, couldn't quite get it down there. Ted Richards cleans up, still a chance for Gold Coast. Brown used his body well to bustle Armstrong out of the way, and here comes the run now through Aaron Hall in the centre. Opportunity for Gold Coast. Hall looks out wide, can he find the target? Zach Smith there in the right forward pocket, held without possession. Grundy applying plenty of pressure, sends Zach Smith to the ground. Good work though by the Suns. Snapshot out of the pocket there by Daniel Gorringe, and the ball just drifts across the face of goal. and a boundary throw in.
Dion Prestia just getting amongst it there. He's started on the bench, but he'll be hoping to get some vital minutes in tonight's game.
Opportunity for the visitors here, put their score on the board, deep in their forward pocket. And almost good work there by Jago O'Meara. Lays a tackle as he tried to rove the tap down there from Zach Smith. The Swans have the numbers at the moment, as you would expect. And a short pass finding Alex Johnson. And away goes Sydney, but no one home on their forward line for them. As the ball picked up by Murphy, quick chip over the top and finds Matthew Warnock, the former Demon. So the experience of the back line there for Gold Coast working out. This time I'd like to go backwards. And Riscatelli, making a skipper for tonight, will now go out wide. And find another tall defender there in Rory Thompson. And good vision by Thompson, finds Sam Day on the outer wing. They keep on running, and that kick just missing the target. And Craig Bird happy to clean up. Ball going to the head of Prestia, and another boundary throw in. Slightly favouring the Suns forward line. We've played 11 minutes of the first term here at Blacktown International Sports Park, with thanks to Fox Footy and the AFL, streaming on Suns and at Swans TV. Love to hear your tweets and also your Facebook messages throughout the night. Only way you're seeing this game tonight, via the internet and website. And Jared Brenner immediately gets involved in the play, sends the ball up Bennell from behind. And Ted Richards, hard customer of course to beat, and smacks it through for a rush behind. First score of the night for the Gold Coast is a minor one. They trail by 5 points.
He looks threatening down there, Harley Bennell, when he's down forward. I don't think you'd want to be one out against him in the Suns forward line.
Kicked 2 goals at the opening NAB Cup match, week 1, in the first game against Hawthorn Harley. As the ball on the broadcast wing, picked up by Martin. Another possession. Left foot kick, just short of centre, finds a target there in Day. Over the top he goes to O'Meara. Another possession. He's had a few so far this first term. The short kick on the there for Gorringe, just out of his reach. O'Meara did well though, followed up. Got the short kick away into the forward line. Bernardo's caught behind his man and a holding against him. And it'll go to Sydney on the half back line.
Swans player down there behind play. I can't pick up who it is at this stage.
I'll just get binoculars on him. And we'll get back to that in a moment, because Sydney through McVeigh, trying to get the ball out of their defensive zone. Jesse White out wide, and as the umpire called a halt, Adam Good's getting his first touch for the night. And is it Johnson, is it? And so play just pulled up to a halt. So let's give you that Twitter address again, or the hashtag AskSuns, and please include the at Gold Coast Suns Twitter handle.
Joining us tonight is Jason Sintome. Jason, you've got some tweets there for us?
I do. One from Shannon Jackson on Facebook, actually. How much does the addition of Murphy and Broughton help with the defensive structures of the team, and are they both fitting in well? Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've both been important players and really had an impact, as Travis mentioned earlier, in the off-season. Tom Murphy, a member of the Hawks leadership group for some time, and he's adjusted really well to our football club, and as has Greg Broughton. The experience they bring, I suppose you can't buy that, and they've been both fantastic. Another
question from Jackson Berry before we get going again. We spoke about Trent McKenzie. Why isn't he playing at the moment, and how far away is he from being back in the side? Yeah,
he's had some knee tendinitis, Trent. He had that last year as well, but fortunately it's in his other knee this year. When we brought him back last year, he probably came back a little bit too early. They rushed him back into the side, probably because we know how talented he is. But Trent this year, he's working hard off the track as the stretcher comes out here, so he might be in for another delay here at Blacktown. But Trent, he's worked really hard. He's doing a modified program at the minute, and he'll play some footy really soon, and I'd expect him to probably be back in the seniors in the early to mid part of the season. But it's really important that he gets some consistent footy for himself beforehand.
Perfect. And one through our Twitter Ask Suns hashtag from Joseph Connor. How will the rucks be rotating tonight, Stephen?
Thanks, Jason. Well, obviously we've got Zach Smith, who'll probably play the main role in the ruck. Also Charlie Dixon, who last year really stepped up in the second half of last year and was really impressive. So we've got Zach and Charlie, and also Dan Gorringe. You'd like to see him ruck a little bit. Dan's a player that has had a rotten luck of run with injuries, so he hasn't played a lot of footy. He's certainly he's trained well over the off season, and it's good to see him back out there tonight.
And one from Jaffa back on Twitter. He says, well done to Rory. Looks like he's really attacking the ball. Do we see a big difference in him this year?
Yeah, certainly. He's another player that's had some injury woes as well, but he's important to our football club, and I think he can secure a spot down there in the back half. And Dean Solomon, our defensive coach, knows how important he is to our side. So, along with Warnock and Murphy, who brings some real security down there, I think Rory Thompson's a player that will step up and be a player for the Suns in the coming years.
Perfect, thank you.
And unfortunately, Alex Johnson is the player coming off for 34 with the left leg injury. Looks to be a lower leg around the ankle. So I'll see the Swans about to activate their first substitution, no doubt a little bit earlier than John Longmire would have expected or wanted to. And it's going to be Daniel Hannabury taking off the green vest. Well, he did shape up to do that, but obviously have to wait for Alex Johnson to come off. And I see Luke Parker still out there, so Dane Rampy at the moment is on the bench. So pretty sure it is the number 34 there for Sydney, unfortunately being stretchered off at the moment. It's just so critical, isn't it, to injuries at any time, but the last thing you need to be doing is, of course, get him in the pre-season competition, Steve. It's
the last thing you want. He's actually had 6 touches already tonight, so he'd been off to a flyer. Just looking at the disposals for the Suns, Drago Ramirez had 5 kicks so far tonight. Tom Murphy's had 3 disposals, so Sam Day, Richard Talley, Thompson and Harley Bendall's had 2 for the Swans. Obviously Johnson with 6, and also 5 to Richards, Armstrong and McVeigh.
So, of course, approaching the 50-game mark too, Alex Johnson. So hopefully that injury is not too serious as the Swans keep the play moving. Short kick by Jetta. We know how dangerous he can be when he gets used to the ball. Over to Everett. Been a bit of a goal kicker so far for the Swans in this NAB Cup series. The ball deep in their forward line. Reed's involved there, as was Kennedy. The ball in dispute at ground level. Well done there by Jack Martin. Bustled and hustled and got the ball out. As going in there once again with the hard ball get there is David Swallow, and can't come up with the clearance, so just hands the ball back to the umpire. Racked up at least over 25 positions last week.
Yeah, he certainly picked up a lot of footy, which was important for him, because by his own admission, as I said, he was probably disappointed with his first game.
So the Suns trying to clear their defensive zone at the moment, and just happy to see the ball coming on from Ben McGlynn.
Dan Hannabury's taken the subs vest off, so it looks like he'll be introduced very shortly.
So it might have been Rampy just coming on momentarily before Hannabury completed his warm-up. And O'Keefe, left forward pocket, dangerous on that left boot. And once again, players unable to hit the ball inside the boundary line. Boundary throw in. The Suns are doing the attacking at this stage. Be a long first quarter though. We've reached the 18-minute mark. The opening term here, Blacktown International Sports Park, and McVeigh with the snapshot at goal. How often do we see Sydney do that? It's one thing the Suns need to keep an eye on, those clearances. And just off target on that occasion, through for a minor score for the co-captain for Sydney. And the Swans, reigning premiers, move on to 1-1-7. One straight kick lead over the Gold Coast, who are 1 behind. The short kick comes in, the mark taken by Dion Prestia. Looking for the number 41, but of course wearing the number 10 this season, Stephen.
Certainly amongst a few players that have changed their numbers and brought them down to lower numbers this year for the Suns.
Stephen May, 45 down to 17.
And Dan Gorringe also, he's down to 15 this year. Just saw that leap from Dan. You remember back to I think it was his first game against the Bulldogs that Eddie had in our first year. He took a giant leap. Unfortunately, I think it was touched, so it wasn't paid, but he's got a big leap on him.
And Hannabury, many thought he might have been the North Smith medalist last year for Sydney, but he, of course, beaten by Ryan O'Keefe, and he's having his first run tonight. Just come onto the ground. Guy just joining us, Alex Johnson, stretch it off for Sydney. As Swallow looking for support out there, found it from Jago Amira. Look at his stats. He certainly has a few possessions or a few touches in this first term, Steve.
He's been getting amongst it, Jager. He's up to 6.
And Warnock, happy to see the ball go out of bounds, as Adam Goods, of course, about to embark on a 15th season for Sydney. And just taking a break from his first run on the field tonight. There's McVeigh getting the ball again. So it's a good test there for Swallow and the other midfielders to keep a check on the number 3 for Sydney. As the Swans go up towards their forward line, and a double fister used there by Danny Stanley.
Important player for the Suns, Danny Stanley. We touched on it before, but over the first 2 years, he's really played a vital role both up forward and down back, and also in the midfield, and he started in the middle here tonight.
Interrupted season like so many for Gold Coast last year. I think I was looking through before, Steve. I think about 29 players throughout the season missing games through injury, the injury curse. But Gorringe looks like he's sent down. In fact, it was Roy Thompson there kicking the ball out of defence. Only as far as Reece Shaw having his first run tonight for Sydney. Over to Jetta. The Jetta with that electrifying pace goes deep in the forward pocket, and Parker interfered with there on that occasion, and the free kick will go to Sydney deep in their forward pocket, and it will go to Parker. Got a pretty tight angle there, Steve, out on the boundary line, looking to put the Swans' second goal of the night on the board.
Looks like he's going to take the shot. Suns defenders were quick on the mark to make sure there was no short passes there. And
Tommy Murphy standing on the mark and sees the ball go over his head and through for only a minor score to Sydney on this occasion. 1-2-8, leading the Gold Coast by 7 points, one behind, with once again broadcasting this match on Suns and Swans TV with thanks to Fox Footy and the AFL. Andrew Brown and Stephen Wilson with you here at Blacktown International Sports Park. The Suns trying to clear the defensive zone. Pretty hard to get past that Swans attack at the moment, although Daniel Henry happy with his first touch tonight. Kick out of bounds on the full, and the free kick going to the Gold Coast. As Jesse Lonergan getting another possession, goes backwards there to Wilkinson, so looking to switch play, bit of risky play. They get away with on this occasion. And left back pocket, it's the former Demon. Second season, of course, with the Gold Coast Suns in Matty Warnock. There was a long bomb out wide, and going up there was Broughton. Kept the ball in play. Good work there by the ex-Docker, and the ball sent up towards the wing. The free kick being brought back will go to Sydney and Ryan O'Keefe. So approaching quarter time, Sydney leading it by 7 points. Low scoring affair early. Jetta. It was Jetta the live wire. Got Craig Bird on a lead. Couldn't quite take the mark, and the ball once again has gone out of bounds. So we've already had one break. Heard from you on Twitter and Facebook. Keep those messages rolling in to hear from all those Sun supporters. Away from home tonight, of course. And wait to see what they'll be playing next week. Final practice match round. And well done there, going for the flight of the ball. Danny Stanley taking a courageous mark. Ready to send the Suns back into attack. Finds Riscatelli out wide. Tommy Murphy. He's getting a few possessions in this first quarter. Number 29. He's certainly had plenty of work to do down there.
Certainly has. A lot of our defenders have picking up a lot of the ball. Rory Thompson, Greg Broughton and Matty Warnock also.
And a good mark on that occasion by Andreas Everett, establishing himself there in the senior team for Sydney. Sends the Swans back inside 50 once again. Plenty of Suns defenders. Hanbury picks the ball up the front of the pack, sends the ball around there for Craig Bird onto it. Oh, looking for McGlynn on the way back, but Bonnell's there to intercept. And his kick up towards Sam Day and pushing the back, hands the back. You heard the umpire's clear call there, so Sam Day takes a free kick just short of centre wing here at Blacktown on the broadcast side. 1-on-1 battle again there, and looking for the mark, Stephen May. And free kick ended up going to Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
Both forwards did a pretty good job there of bringing the ball to ground when it looked like the Swans had the numbers. Unfortunately, a free kick there to the Swans.
And Reece Shaw has the ball in his possession. Still a fan of the facial here, you can see there. Reece Shaw, McVeigh, loose at centre half back. Sends the ball out wide to the running Armstrong. Aaron Hall trying to close him down. But the Swans move the ball well. A few pinpoint passes, of course, a couple more years experience overall, age, as Wilkinson and also Thompson go up there for that mark. Wilkinson, good follow up and tackled illegally, and Joel Wilkinson trying to settle things down. Will take the free kick on the back line for the Suns.
He really earned that free kick, put his head over the footy. They spoiled each other, the Suns, but he worked hard there, Wilco.
And Harley Bonnell working hard at both ends of the ground. Stephen May, of course, we saw him the back line starting, but of course that game against Hawthorn filled up the forward line and proved a revelation.
Jackie Martin there, you can see the excitement machine there. He's earned himself a free kick.
Got tripped up, So a chance here approaching quarter time for the Suns to get a major on the board.
Swans' numbers are getting back. The forwards are going to have to work hard for the Suns.
Smith's up there, the forward line. Hall sets himself. He's got 2 to beat, though, in the long arms of Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Once again, spoiling that Suns attack.
These are the lessons the Suns will learn tonight. They work really hard behind the ball, Sydney, and a great example to all young teams.
And the position of McVeigh there, too, helping the Swans get out of the defensive zone. Over to Rampy. And he likes to go back with that left foot. Was a local Sydney boy. Over to Grundy. And up short there is Jesse White. And White goes out wide to find Hanbury. Hanbury squares it off. And the Suns will be learning a lot from this, I think, as McVeigh follows up that original kick from the back line. There he is, making position in the true centre of the ground.
Wouldn't want to get a goal here. The Suns are kicked against them. They've worked really hard at closing this game down. Sydney have had a fair bit of the ball, but the Suns' pressure's been pretty good.
Adam Good's taking his first mark for the night, and good work by Danny Stanley, cutting off the intended receiver there in Josh Kennedy, and takes the mark in the left back pocket. As I said, good steady crowd in here at Blacktown. Saturday night football, week 3 of the NAB Cup. Of course, they were here a couple of weeks ago when it was GWS Giants and Carlton, as well as Sydney. And tackle too high, free kick going to Gold Coast.
Brandon Matera just picking himself up. He went back early there with a bit of courage, but he looks like he's okay. He's running off now.
And the Swans just forcing the Suns to go back. The initial kick, but it's proving safe at the moment as the Suns switch play. Thompson to Martin. There's Zach Smith on a long lead. And gee, stretched out well. It's like a strong mark. Close to the boundary line there, Zach Smith.
Worked extremely hard then, Zach. He wasn't much forward of the ball, so he needed to win that contest.
Looking for May. And, of course, hot on his hammer there was Lewis Roberts-Thompson, LRT, and sends the ball over the line. So, not the short first quarter that we perhaps might have thought, Steve, with the injury there to Alex Johnson. Left leg injury. If we get the updates from the Swans camp, we'll let those Swan supporters know as to how serious it may not be. Prestia, good clever work there, sold the dummy, kept the ball in play, centres the ball too for Gold Coast. A chance for Aaron Hall in support there from Zach Smith as well. Just lost track of the ball and City can come away. Here's the danger for Gold Coast as Kieran Jack on the left boot. Thompson, good spoil from behind, punched the ball down, working well there with Tommy Murphy. And Thompson swings the ball around. He can find Dion Prestia by himself on the half-back flank and takes a safe mark.
Well done, cool in a crisis there, Rory Thompson.
And there is quarter time. Unfortunately, the Gold Coast Suns couldn't get a major in that first term, but as we know, it's pretty hard to penetrate this Swans defence. So at quarter time here at Blacktown International Sports Park, it's Sydney Swans leading it by 7 points, 1-2-8. Gold Coast Suns one behind. The solitary goal kicker for the quarter, Josh Kennedy. We're back with the second quarter shortly here on Suns and Swans TV. Good work by Aaron Hall. Over to Jago O'Meara. 7 disposals in the first term. Already has 1 in the second. Looking there for Brandon Matera on the left half forward flank. And Matera did well. Get the kick away. Looking up forward there for Stephen May in the forward line. And the ball beats both players out of bounds. But a good positive start there to the Suns in this second term. Kicking towards the northern end here at Blacktown in this second quarter. From the boundary throw in, great work Harley Bennell, read the play beautifully, he loves these, little left foot snap, bouncing through and he's got it! Oh, Harley Bennell, that's what we come to love and watch. And kicks his 4th goal, I think, for the NAB Cup campaign. And the Suns first for the night through the number 11, 1-1-7. Trail Sydney Biney 1.128 in the first minute of the second term, and that's one for the highlights package, Steve Wilson.
Certainly was, Brown. He's a really exciting player, Harley Bennell, and to see him, when you see him loose in the forward line, it'd have a lot of opposition coaches worried, and he can finish off, I suppose, a stoppage like that from the boundary line is really exciting.
Well, we saw how damaging the Swans were from the stoppages in that first term. They won the inside 50s 11 points to 8, and certainly I think that point would have been rammed home by the Suns coach Guy McKenna at the quarter time address. Let's see what they can do now. Good work floating back the flight of the ball there. Greg Broughton quickly over there to Rory Thompson. Out wide, a chance for the Gold Coast. Pressures out there. Look at that, already covering so much territory. Harley Bennell sends the ball up forward, only the way of the Swans' best and fairest, and our premiership player, of course, Josh Kennedy. Player spot up loose in the midfield there, Ryan O'Keefe. He elects to go short as well. And there's Jesse White, just travel the 15. On the overlap, Reece Shaw from the back line. Try to duck around Jared Brennan. Couldn't get around Aaron Hall though. Lays a tremendous tackle, holding the ball. And Aaron Hall comes away with the free kick. And he spots up Jago O'Meara. And looks already a more lively Suns outfit the second term, Steve.
A lot more aggressive at the footy, the Suns, in this quarter. And certainly it looks like it's making an impression on the stat sheet, and also some thorough forward.
Good spoil there by Jack Martin behind. Hit the ball in the Suns forward line. Starting on the bench, second term for the Suns, Sam Day, Michael Riscatelli and Jesse Lonigan. And a reminder, their subs as well, Mav Weller, Charlie Dixon and also Kyle Horsley. As Sydney, White couldn't control the ball in front of him and takes the ball out of bounds. We are just joining the broadcast here on Suns and Swans TV with thanks to the AFL and Fox Footy. Alex Johnson injuring his leg in the first term, so Daniel Hanbury came on from the subs bench there for Sydney. And the other subs there, Nick Malcheski and Shane Mumford. So good pressure applied there by Joel Wilkinson as Jude Bolton got his kick away for Sydney to the right forward pocket. Reed tackled by Thompson. There's the dangerous Adam Goods deep in that forward pocket. Get the ball away there to Kieran Jack, the co-captain for Sydney. Ball in dispute, top of the goal square. It's a hot spot for the Gold Coast, and well done by Swallow. Kicks the ball out of danger, looking for the safety of the boundary line and finds it. And on this occasion there'll be a boundary throw in. Some of the other stats in the first quarter, Steve.
Looking at the Suns, Jago O'Meara, as we mentioned, with 9 disposals. Rory Thompson and Tom Murphy, a couple of defenders, as well as Greg Broughton with 7 and Harley Bennell with 6. For the Swans, Jared McVeigh, we know how classy he is. He's had 10 possessions. Campbell
Brown putting their head down, showing a lot of courage, get the ball out. Lewis Jetta though, and well intercepted though by Jared Brennan in return. Spots up Matera, the light's in his eyes there for a while. Got around Armstrong. And they certainly would be happy with that kick, unfortunately. Trying to get the Suns forward, looking to apply a bit more pressure in this second term.
Certainly are the Suns, but moving the ball as quickly as possible also. Brandon would be a little bit disappointed with that. The light's got in his eyes, I should say, but he pressured that ball over the boundary line.
Lewis Roberts Thompson sends the Swans into attack. Roving there, McGlynn received the pass off White. Out from outside 50. Is this going to be a super goal? How the umpires see it. It's only the 6 points, but Ben McGlynn, the more worrying news for the Suns. Got a player down there in the back line. No, in fact, for the Swans. So they've been hit by injuries the first
just looks
2
to
quarters.
Be cut to the eye there, so hopefully nothing too serious there for the Swans.
Well, I thought McGlynn might have been outside the 50-metre arc, but they've only paid it the 6 points. So Ben McGlynn gets his first for the night after starting the night off the interchange bench. And the Swans answer the goal of the Gold Coast Suns. They're 2-2-14. Gold Coast 1-1-7. Early stages of this second term. Reminder, of course, get your tweets in while we're doing the commentary tonight. Remember the hashtag AskSuns. And also include the @Gold Coast Suns Twitter handle. Also taking your messages off Facebook as well. Just waiting for the blood roll as Lewis Jetta comes on.
Rory Thompson's still got the job down back on Sam Reed. And also looks like Joel Wilkinson, he's going to run with Lewis Jetta for a majority of the night, but he'll take the most dangerous deep forward for the Swans.
And it was Craig Bird, the injured Swans player on that occasion. Of course, homegrown New South Wales product. Having to play with the Swans at the moment. The ball back in the centre. What can the Suns do here? Certainly the pace of the game seems to have picked up a cog. It was a pretty steady start. A lot of the play in the first term, play between the 2 half-forward lines. Umpires picked out a shove-out here. And it's going to go to the away team, the Gold Coast Suns.
Tom Murphy, by the looks of it, had plenty of the ball.
Played 40 games with Hawthorn. Between 2006 2009, I should say, and of course joining the Hawks, from the Hawks to the Suns. Warnock has the ball now, picks that ball at the bootlaces on the half-back flank, looking for a bit of movement in the centre. Martin offering a lead, ignores that, and once again what the Swans like to do, force the play back, as though the Suns will switch through. Rory Thompson goes out wide, and a free kick there going to the Gold Coast. shape of Riscatelli. Interrupted season last season, but looks to be in pretty fit shape for season 2013, Steve.
Yeah, certainly is. He's worked hard in the off-season, and he's looking good this year.
And as is Jared McVeigh there for Sydney. Follows up there from that kick. Quick handball away. Look away, handball. Trying to find Jack, who ducked the head. Good tackle by Dion Prestia. Jesse Lonergan also joins in the fun. And they both wrestle Ryan O'Keefe to the ground. There'll be a bounce just outside the Swans 50.
Supporters should really notice an improvement in the Suns' tackling this year. They've worked a lot on it over the pre-season, and a lot more aggressive when it comes to tackling.
Holly Bennell in a race with Hanbury to the ball on that occasion. Back to McVeigh. Certainly leading possession getter as kick goes towards the goals and through for a minor score for Sydney from the co-captain. And McVeigh gets his second behind for the night. It's the Swans' third. 2-3-15. Gold Coast Suns 1-1-7. And we've played almost 8 minutes of the second quarter here at Blacktown. Reid goes up for the mark at the front position over Rory Thompson. And of course, as you would expect, mainly the red and white in the crowd here. Looking around for a few Sun supporters who might have followed us down for the game tonight, Stephen.
Not too many. Why would you follow us down when you can watch us online?
Absolutely. Towards the top of the square. Oh, Jude Bolton had a chance there for Sydney. So did the Dangerous Goods. Oh, snapshot of goal there by Jesse White. There's a high up and under. Bolton's there. Good work by Hall and Broughton. Trying to get the ball away. Quick separate shot goal there by Sydney by Hanbury just across the face. So Swans applying plenty of pressure at the moment to the Suns' defence.
Certainly are. They're a bit inaccurate, which is keeping the Suns in the contest. Harley Ben will take the kick in this time.
Might have been Jack having the shot at goal on that occasion for Sydney. And the barrel from Bennell. Blast past the 50-metre arc, but waiting there for it is tall Mike Pike. Quickly lays it off by hand there to Reece Shaw. Goods picks the ball up the half volley. Good running though by Shaw. Receives the handball back, spots up the pass there. Looking in the forward line to Jesse White, who's able to recover. He goes towards the target there, but good defensive work by the Gold Coast once again, although might have grabbed the player too high. There was a Broughton involved in that. And the play allowed to continue. And a goal there to Sydney. I was watching the player who was down. We'll get the goal kicker there for you in a moment for the Sydney Swans. But a couple of back-to-back goals, and they extend the lead now to 15 points. Sydney 3-4-22. Gold Coast 1-1-7.
Sam Day looks like he'll start at this centre bounce in the ruck for the Suns. He played a bit there last week. In the second half, they moved him into the middle of the ground just to get a bit of the footy. And he's a really athletic player, super talented, and hopefully he can have an impact there in the middle up against a solid Swans ruckman there. Looks like it's Mumford, is it?
No, this will be the
yeah, thank you.
Hopefully the green vest that's still worn by Mumping at the moment. But starting the centre there for the Suns, he had Sam Day, Jared Brennan, Danny Stanley, along with Swallow. So obviously with the absence of Ablett and Carmichael, really putting a bit more test to the Suns midfield. Obviously with Gary gone, arguably the best player in the competition, so someone has to step up there, and Swallow and O'Meara look to be doing that a little bit. And I suppose with Carmichael Hunt out, we look at Danny Stanley, who's a big body and an enforcer there in the middle. As the Swans go forward, deep attack again, and through Bolton, finds up spots up the fellow veteran Adam Goods. And the two experienced Swans campaigners combine, and the first goal to Adam Goods tonight. And so the Swans get a bit of a break here, and the Suns will be looking to reel that in. So Adam Goods kicks his first. The previous goal kicker, by the way, was Tony Armstrong, as the player was allowed to continue. I'm sure that's something that Bluey and the coaches will show to the players on the weekend. You just got to take your head off to the way the Swans structure up. They're so consistent in what they do, and just caught a little bit off guard there, the Suns' defence. And of course, Goods and Bolton, the only two Swans player making their debuts in the 90s. So obviously the older statesmen, but both making their debut for Sydney in 1999. And certainly the oldest players on the park tonight. As Pike doing the ruck work up against Sam Day. So plenty of experience for Day tonight. Bit of ruck work experience. A chance beautifully trapped there by Martin, was it? As the ball from Stanley goes looking for Stevie May. as Jetta showing a bit of strength on that occasion. Good work there by Lonergan for the Suns. Butted up. Sydney just showing that overall experience across that half back line to clear the ball away. Good fist in there from Broughton. Sees the ball down there to Jared Brennan. And he swings the ball on the left boot and he finds Sam Day. Plenty to talk about Jared Brennan too in the pre-season. Obviously benefiting from the Arizona experience.
Yeah, he looks like it. He went away, obviously had a disappointing finish to the year, and Jared would be the first to admit that, but really regrouped, went away. He actually won the Best Trainers Award for the trip over in Arizona, and he's continued that.
So Sydney getting a free kick there for out of bounds on the full. As the Suns obviously just trying to work at their targets up forward, Steve. Trying a few different combinations at the moment to see what they can do. But as we'll say throughout this broadcast tonight, it's pretty hard to penetrate that Swans defence.
Has been for a long period of time. The Swans defence has been outstanding for at least a decade, if not even more. So certainly a good learning lesson for our young forwards.
The way they transfer the ball from one end to the other on that occasion, Everett to McGlynn. The heavily tattooed on the left arm there in Jesse White. It's obviously the common vogue. A few Suns players like to bit of the paint as well, do they, Steve?
There's a few. Luke Russell, but he keeps it behind the jumper, I should say, so you don't see too much of it. Mav Weller, sort of little sticker, but and Jared Brennan also.
I noticed Harley Bennell had the facial hair last week up until last week against Townsville. Maybe the heat
I think the
got
heat
to him, had to take it off tonight. So the ball has ended up here with Kieran Jack. And even on the marks inside 50, this for 6 points. And what has the captain done for Sydney? He's put another one on the board. So after that first early goal by Gold Coast, it might have sparked the Swans into a bit of action. They might have appreciated that early pressure from the Gold Coast, Steve, because the Swans have answered back with 4 quick goals. They move it to 5-4-34. Gold Coast Suns 1-1-7. We've played 14 minutes of the second term. And the coaching staff with their work cut out to try and stem this flow of goals at the moment.
It's certainly been something that the coaches have been working on this pre-season. Obviously in times gone by, sides have just had 5-10 minutes of good football that's really been able to pile on the goals and puts us on the back foot. So that's something they'll be disappointed about. They've been working on all pre-season, but this is the time to understand how it's occurred and how we can fix it.
Danny Stanley trying to put a stop to Josh Kenny there in the centre, but a good clearance here by Jared Brennan. Gets that long raking boot down towards the left forward line. And Grundy comes out to meet the ball and sees the ball over the boundary line, just beyond the 50-metre mark. As the ground well and truly covered by the lights here at Blacktown. 10 to 8 local time. And into this second term, good crowd in attendance. Nice relaxed atmosphere. And seeing if the Swans can open their account for their first win in 2013. And of course the Suns looking for their second victory after of course defeating Hawthorn narrowly in their opening NAB Cup round, of course 2 weeks ago back at Metricon Stadium.
These two sides playing round 2 of the premiership season, so it's a game at the SCG, but they'll be both keen to have a good look at each other.
I think you've been to the SCG yet, have you, Steve?
No, we haven't played there yet, the Gold Coast Suns, so it's our first journey to the SCG.
Jude Bolton sends the Swans back into attack as Jesse White eludes Warnock and running down the elusive Lewis Jetta takes the mark 15 metres out, or 20 metres out directly in front. And you can tell in our effects, Mike, the local Swans crowd pretty happy about it.
We've seen it a lot, haven't we, over the time? Lewis Jetta, very quick player and put the pace on and was found all alone in the forward 50.
Chance to kick his first goal for the NAB campaign this season. And he's offline though. Won't be too happy about that. Lewis, number 32, only a minor score. So Sydney moving on to 5-5-35. 28-point lead over the Gold Coast, 1-1-7. Wiscatelli contests the mark. The Swans have the numbers at ground level. Good. No, a throw, said the umpire.
Really lucky there for the Suns. Wasn't the greatest of choices there by Tom Murphy.
From McGlynn on that occasion, perhaps as the offender, as Broughton presents himself there at centre half back. Now what can the Suns do? They need runners through the middle. Hands off there to the running Swallow. Needs to watch out from behind. He got the kick away though, looking there for Gorringe. Ball beats him. And over the back, the Swans defenders have the numbers, although Hanbury's under pressure there by Jared Brennan. But eventually Pike is the target on the right half back flank. Standing the mark there, Sam Day. And the Canadian, he goes back there to LRT. Oh, risky kick. Oh, good spoil. No, just chopping with their hands there by Danny Stanley. So the Swans come away with the free kick, and a short kick it was at that to Reece Shaw.
The Swans class has really come to the top here in the second quarter. If you look at the stat sheet, Jared McVeigh up to 14 disposals, Lewis Jett at 13, and Josh Kennedy 11. Hanbury, who came on late, well, halfway through that first quarter, up to 10.
And the Swans, as I know, had a build from defence. Of course, their first, you mentioned the Suns are their round 2 opponent. Of course, round 1, it'll be against GWS Giants as far as Sydney is concerned. Kick off their defence of their premiership in 2013. As Wilkinson go back to fly to the ball. He punched the ball. Can he hold it? Ball, can he let it slip at the moment? Needs to get rid of it. He does. Has Thompson there for support. Likewise, Bennell. Short kick, and Aaron Hall takes the mark on this centre wing ahead of Everett. Running past to receive the handball is Bennell once again. But that disappointed the coaching panel. Note about that. Not a target found as the Suns trying to get that forward attack moving.
Dan Gorringe and Stephen May really need to present there. Harley Bennell ran hard off the back line, and when he looked forward, there wasn't too much to kick to. So it was very difficult for him, and he ended up heading towards the boundary, and unfortunately the Swans with the rebound.
White's kick for Sydney. Found a target out wide. That mark not paid, though, on that occasion. So Swallow brings the ball back there for the Suns. Malcheski's in there. Over to Bolton, in turn to Armstrong. Kicked a goal early in the second term. Looks to go out wide to the dangerous Hanbury. Swings on the left boot. A beautiful pass on that occasion found Kieran Jack. And what will he do? Certainly seems to be relishing the role of co-captaincy announced during the week. Goes to the forward pocket. Bit of risky kicker. 4 Suns players to beat, but luck's a fortune there for McVeigh. Ball just fell into his lap from that spoil, and he had the snapshot at goal and hit the post. A minor score. Another behind to Sydney. 5-6-36. Gold Coast 1-1-7. Got Jared McVeigh down to for 3 behinds tonight. And certainly had a couple of snapshots. Ball close to the boundary line. Enough pressure applied there by the Suns to get the ball in play as Richards to Bolton to Grundy. Back to Hanbury. Long left foot kick. Wilkinson under pressure again. The ball just goes at the back of his hands. Good work though by Riscatelli. Read the play well off Wilkinson's hands on that occasion. Goes in short, looking there for Matera.
Dangerous kick there. Got to be very careful, the Suns, if they're going to move the ball inboard in the back half. Swallow
Tunnels the ball back there to Riscatelli, a high up and under. With 2 players to beat there is Danny Stanley. And Hanbury does that with ease. And he gets the ball back there from a teammate, goes in short, and the mark taken by Ryan O'Keefe.
We hear Guy McKenna talk a lot about team cohesion, and the Sydney Swans are a great example of that. They've been together for a long period of time, and players that move into this side understand the structures and understand the team really well.
So the ball in the right forward pocket, and Tommy Murphy happy to see the ball over the line, with Sydney leading it by 29 points. 20.5 minutes played the second quarter. Just a reminder, Alex Johnson off for Sydney, so they've already used one of their substitutes. And of course, around the 20 rotations allowed, maximum of 80 throughout the match. As the kick goes in, and is that from Malcheski from outside 50, and gets a congratulatory tap from the fellow bearded one there in Reece Shaw. So, well, we all know what Nick Malcheski can do.
We do. We only have to go back to the grand final last year, Brandon.
I know, we had to mention it. Kicking the bookends goals for the Sydney Swans, and gets his first for the night. Right on the edge of 50 there. They move on to 6-6-42. Gold Coast 1-1-7. And Nick Malcheski off the sub as well gets the 5th goal for the second quarter tonight for the Sydney Swans.
Jared Brennan's moved forward now for the Suns. He's up there with Stephen May, Zach Smith into the ruck, with Prestia, Matera and O'Meara in the middle.
So I wonder if Craig Bird has come off permanently there after going off with a head knock earlier this term. So Sydney forced to use 2 of their 3 subs so far before the first half is over. And he's running with the flop, the ball there, Andreas Everett over the outer side. It's amazing how often that play is off on the outer side, not the broadcast side, or one closest to it. Malteski ends up with the ball again for Sydney. He's got his second goal in a minute. The number 9, the trusty left foot.
Heading back to the back line as well, it's something we haven't seen much of from the Suns, is his goal scorers off the half back line, and Nick Malcheski's been doing that for a little while now, and very successfully.
So it becomes the first multiple goal kicker for the night for Sydney, who move on to 7-6-48. And the Gold Coast Suns, a lot of work to do now, 1-1-7.
Just not getting their hands on the footy at the moment, Brownie, and they'll be disappointed about that. Look at the team disposals. Sydney have had 193 to the Suns 115. So and clearances too. The Swans 22 to 14.
Free kicks light at the moment, 9-7 in favour of the visitors, the Gold Coast Suns, as Jared Brennan's gone now into the forward line. As the Brandon Matera with a clearance, and the ball just bouncing before Campbell Brown. Picked up though by Jager Amira, goes out wide, finds Bennell just outside 50. Now a leader chose to go himself, left foot kickling there for Brennan, just over the head though of the number 3. Picked up by the opposite number 3 though, and McVeigh. And he goes out wide now for Sydney. As picking the ball up there is Sam Reid. Great tackle from behind by Rory Thompson. And he gets the free kick as well as the umpire pays advantage. Brennan couldn't quite trap the ball. Chance there once again for Sam Day. He couldn't do likewise. And the boundary throw to take place underneath the scoreboard, but showing a handy lead to Sydney.
Really
as
evident.
We approach half time.
Really evident, Brownie, that when the Suns get the ball, they're trying to move it quickly. But just no success with it at the minute on the scoreboard.
As McGlynn tackles Aaron Hall for the ball. The ball ends up with Tony Armstrong for the home team. Mark should have been taken there. Had time to recover though was Hanbury just before he got the kick away ahead of the tackle by Matera to Kieran Jack. Another left foot shot at goal. We've had Machelski kick the last couple. And Jack on this occasion misses to the right hand side. So peppering the goals at the moment. Sydney here out of Blacktown International Sports Park. 7-7-49. Gold Coast 1-1-7. As Tommy Murphy elects to go to the outer side, but disappointed with that kick. Well, they're not taking the mark for Sydney, so damage could be limited here. Prestia tackles strongly to the ground. Sydney looking dangerous though. Bolton, McVeigh. Here's a standing start from just inside 50, and it brings up his 4th behind for the night. The number 3 for Sydney. So they bring up the half century here at Blacktown. 7-8-50. Gold Coast 1-1-7. Approaching half time.
If you look at the contested possession, the Swans have 65, been renowned for a long period of time, has been a hard team with the footy. The Suns with 59, so they won't be too disappointed with that. At least they're getting in there, putting their head over the footy and earning the ball. On
that occasion, the Suns decide to go the direct route. Zach Smith tapped it down to the centre, picked up by Campbell Brown, chases after his own kick ahead of Rampy. Aaron Hall goes in, but he's strongly tackled to the ground. And they were the leading tackling side, as you would expect last year, Sydney. I think they laid a record too in the amount of tackles in the grand final. And one of their chief protagonists there, Jude Bolton, laying the tackle. Good fist over the top there by Jager Amira. Towards Stanley. They kick inside. No, couldn't keep the ball in play as Mayer was offering a target there in the forward line. So there'll be a boundary throw. We'll have a couple of special guests for you at the main break. Also go through your messages coming through on Twitter or Facebook. Remember the hashtag tonight, AskSuns.
Michael Riscatelli's had 7 disposals, so he's got a bit more of the ball in this second term, which is good to see.
There's plenty of Suns there on the outer side, and the mark taken by Lonigan. And the recruit showing a bit of class there, gets around, trying to spot up Aaron Hall. Perhaps could have gone a bit harder to try and get that ball, but the ball just floating over his head. And the Swans defenders there will take the mark. That small brigade of O'Keefe, Jack, and also Hanbury, creating a bit of havoc there at the moment for the Suns midfielders. As Armstrong has the ball and the strike at half time. There it is. And as we mentioned, a promising start to the second term, where the Suns managed their first goal.
But it was all Swans after that, wasn't it, Brownie?
Yes, through Harley Bennell. So the Suns, a lot of work to do. No doubt Blue McKenna, the coaching staff, to talk about at half-time. Gold Coast 1-1-7. And Sydney Swans 7-8-50. Quickly the goal kickers. Nick Malcheski with 2 for Sydney. The rest are all singles, including Josh Kennedy, Kieran Jack, Tony Armstrong, Ben McGlynn and Adam Goods. And the sole goal kicker for the Gold Coast Suns there, Harley Bennell. So at half-time here at Blacktown International Sports Park, a 43-point lead to Sydney Swans. We're bringing this game on the Suns and the Swans TV with thanks to Fox Footy and the AFL. Second half coming up soon.
Fox Footy and get closer to the game. With your team live every round this home and away season. Live every celebration with no ad breaks, siren to siren. And with 24/7 coverage and analysis, you can take your footy smarts anywhere. So to get closer, choice is easy. Fox Footy, only on Foxtel.
What is this, mate? What is it? For real. To see your teeth hit the floor.
Hablando de lo mismo, ¿no?
¿Qué haces, cochine? ¿Qué es?
Blacktown International Sports Park on this website coverage of Sydney Swans and the Gold Coast Suns with thanks to Fox Footy and the AFL with Sydney Swans handy lead at half-time. Let's see what the Gold Coast Suns can do in this second half as umpire Jason Armstrong has the ball and bounces into the Blacktown turf, and the Suns with the all-important first clearance here through O'Meara. But once again, the Swans applying plenty of pressure. Jared Brennan with the ball in front of him, and plenty of Swans on his hammer as well. One of them is Jude Bolton. He funnels the ball out there. Picked off there by Lewis Jetta. Looks to go backwards as the Swans going to attack. Roy Thompson goes up and takes a good defensive mark. Andrew Brown and Stephen Wilson, your commentators this evening here at Blacktown.
Ball's been down there a bit, Brownie, and Rory Thompson stepped up again tonight.
Absolutely. Against the handball at the top here to Thomas Murphy. Now eventually kicks the ball outside defensive 50. And the mark taken out wide there by Telly. Yes, it is. The acting skipper for the night. Kicking towards the southern end in this third turn. The Suns made a couple of changes as so I'll get to those in a moment. This time though, the Swans going forward through Teddy Richards off a handball from Jude Bolton and spots up Ryan O'Keefe. Back to Rampy. Rampy goes in short at centre half forward, and the mark taken by Josh Kennedy. So Steve, the Suns making a couple of changes at half time, bringing on a couple of substitutes. Charlie Dixon and Kyle Horsley on.
Yes, and Dion Prestia, who the plan was coming into this game that he'd play the first half, and he's off, and also Zach Smith.
And starting on the bench from the third term for the Suns were Danny Stanley, Jack Martin and Kyle Horsley. And of course the Swans already activated their substitutes, two of them anyway, in Malcheski and also Hanbury, as the kick comes in. On that occasion, only a minor score there to Josh Kennedy, so he's kicked 1 goal, 1 so far tonight. First score of the second half going to the reigning premiers, and looking for their first win tonight. And the Suns trying to stem the tide at the moment as Tommy Murphy takes the mark once again on the half back line. And the same thoroughfare as before with Riscatelli taking the mark. And the play still on the outer wing here at Blacktown.
what we learnt last week in Townsville, Brownie, was that the never say die attitude. So, you know, there's obviously it's a big margin at the minute, but the boys should have confidence and belief that they're fit enough to compete at this level. And hopefully with the Swans making some changes early, obviously some subs there, that there might be an opportunity for the Suns to get a roll on here in the second half.
Yeah, the Suns kicked 7 out of the last 8 goals last week at Townsville. Jesse White's under the hammer there. Good bump laid there by Swallow, but White was able to keep his feet. Wilkinson goes up, and once again electing to spoil. A couple of times perhaps you think he perhaps should back himself and go for the mark a bit more often.
You'd think so, but I mean, we've seen a few players fumble it out there. It might be a little bit slippery, and Joel might understand that if he knows he's not going to mark the ball, it might be his best option to spoil, but you'd think he'd be making the right choice there. And
of course, we've seen the Hawthorn defender Josh Gibson. He certainly likes to go the double fist away to affect the spoil. The ball's gone out of bounds once again. So, I said, good relaxed crowd here at Blacktown on this Saturday night in Western Sydney. Of course, the Giants played last night in Canberra, and they were soundly beaten by Essendon. So the Swans and the Suns putting the show on tonight, week 3 of the NAB Cup. Of course, both these teams will still be in action next weekend. The final hit-outs before round 1 gets underway for both these teams on Easter Saturday. But Lewis Jetta now has the free kick. The mark's been set just inside the 50-metre mark as Jetta comes in. He's kicked one behind so far in the match, and that kick looks a little bit straighter, is it? No, just veers off the left-hand side at the last minute and through for another minor score. So 17 scoring shots have had at the moment at Sydney, 7-10 at 52. The Gold Coast Suns 1-1-7. And with Charlie Dixon, was he lining up there at centre-half forward? Saw him before, Steve?
Yeah, he is at the minute, Charlie. Obviously, he played one game, I think, back in round 1 of the NAB Cup, but had a bit of a tight back and played last week for reserves in the NEFL against Aspley at Metricon Stadium. So, looking to get a big second half out of him here tonight.
And also on the forward line, we see Stephen May and Sam Day, Jared Brennan. Clearance. His kick went straight to Ben McGlynn, though. Sends the Swans back into attack. So more pressure there for the Suns defence to deal with. They do it well this time and gets plenty pats in the back there. Greg Broughton for that spoil.
Solid spoil there from Greg Broughton. That's probably what Joel Wilkinson needs to do, especially if he's going with 2 fists. Make sure he makes that spoil count.
How's Broughton settled in since moving from Fremantle?
Yeah, really well. He's, as we said, he's an experienced player.
As the Swans going to attack, and just the flight of the ball there, been unfortunate there for the Suns defence, and Adam Goods, that vast experience of his, able to read the play a little bit better, and takes the mark, and we'll have a set shot at goal at the northern end here at Blacktown, and to try and get his second goal of the night on the board, and he does so. As we mentioned, entering his 15th season of AFL football. And Adam Goods has his second goal of the night. And the first goal of the second half going to Sydney.
Yeah, Greg Broughton, as we were saying, he's been a valuable addition to the Suns team. Very experienced. And we do have a young back line when you look down there. So the addition of him and Murphy to help Matty Warnock out will be valuable for our side.
Hopefully you have another Suns guest up for you before the end of the game as well.
Yes, you never know. We've obviously with Prestia and Smith subbed off, we might be able to drag them upstairs to have a quick chat to our fans.
Yes, right on the centre wing position here. Good commentary position here at Blacktown as Daniel Gorrin's now into the ruck. Good tap down there to Jago O'Meara. Sends the ball forward. Chance here for Stephen May. He balances himself up. And now the ball picked up there by the Suns going into attack.
Kyle Horsley there.
That was Kyle Horsley having his first kick for the night since coming on, of course, as a substitute. So it's only a minor score, though, to young Kyle.
Been really good to see Jago O'Meara get amongst plenty of the ball tonight and in plenty of the play as well.
Jack Martin trying to spoil Ben McGlynn from behind. McGlynn showing a bit of courage and good bump late on attack there by Riscatelli. Forced the turnover. Broughton comes in. Another possession. Just keeps the ball inside the boundary line. And Jared Brennan will hand the ball back to the boundary umpire.
Michael Riscatelli, first game back, he's had 10 disposals, which is good for Risca. Captain in the side tonight.
In the absence of Gary Ablett, Carmichael Hunt, a couple of others. So a good test for these young Suns players. giving away a couple of years in overall average age experience.
Great opportunity for Joel Wilkinson to play on Adam Goods down in deep back.
Absolutely. As the Suns move forward, though, bit of spoil there by Jesse White. Gets the ball back to Malcheski. Has another one of those flying left foot shots at goal, which can be so dangerous at. And at this time it veers to the wrong side of the post once again. So after kicking 2 goals within the space of a minute in that second term, this one's only a minor score. So Sydney move on to 8-11-59. Gold Coast Suns 1-2-8. 8 minutes gone in the third quarter. As Warnock elects the barrel. Good work there by Martin, pushing off more experienced opponent there to try and take the mark. A couple of Swans players run into each other there. One of them there was Parker. Bennell ready to lay a strong tackle on Armstrong on the centre wing. And both players wrestle the ball to the ground. And the umpire will come in and bounce it down.
Better intensity there from the Suns. Jack Martin led the way. Harley Bennell and Jager O'Meara.
Any word from the room to the message to the Suns players at half-time, Steve?
Didn't get down there, Brownie.
It wasn't reverberating loud enough there from Guy McKenna.
Didn't think I'd stick my head in down there at half-time.
As Armstrong spots up Reece Shaw in the centre of the ground here at Blacktown International Sports Park. It is a certainly impressive precinct out here in Western Sydney. As Wilkinson showing his tackling ability, putting Jules Bolton under pressure and sends the ball out of bounds. As the Suns, we've got Dixon, May and Day, along with Lonergan up there in that forward line, trying to provide the forward targets to try and score this turn the scoring around there for the Gold Coast. Umpire picks out a free kick though. Goes to strongly built Jesse White. Of course, perhaps might have been going to Adelaide, but stopping here in Sydney. And certainly giving an example of what he's capable of in the last couple of weeks, showing a bit of form. Danny Stanley picks up the ball for the Gold Coast, sends the ball out of bounds. Trying to look there for Dan Gorringe. And the ball beats both players out of bounds for another throw-in underneath the scoreboard.
Spoken a lot about Jack Martin tonight. He's showed in glimpses what he's going to be capable of come 2014. But what a great experience, as we said, to play against the Sydney Swans, the reigning premiers. And I'm sure if we spoke to him after the game, he'd be able to tell you exactly what he learnt out there tonight.
Stanley, quick hands there to Wilkinson, got the kick away. Nicely picked up there by also in the centre, over to Bennell. Support from Aaron Hall on his outside to Swallow. Campbell under pressure. Now here's Lonergan. What can the Tassie boy do here? He should have a shot at goal. No, unselfish play and good vision. The mark unfortunately dropped there by May in the left forward pocket. Got the ball away looking for Dixon. But perhaps should end up better on the Gold Coast that occasion. Only a minor score once again.
Good vision there from Jesse. Unfortunately, Steve May couldn't stick the mark.
Well, the coaching panel will be saying to him, perhaps could have backed himself, or he tried to do the right thing. And
yeah, it was good vision. He probably was within range there for Jesse. We've seen him kicking from there at training, so he could have kicked that goal.
As the Swans with the slow build-up out of their defence, Parker, and a good kick between the two teams at the moment finds Reece Shaw out wide there as Jared McVeigh about to run onto it. Stanley hot in his hammer. What can McVeigh do with it? He keeps the ball in play. Goods is there to help out as well. Gets around Tommy Murphy as freakish snapshot at goal. Is that Jude Bolton?
Jude Bolton.
Now getting involved as well. And he gets his first for the night. Another individual goal kicker for Sydney. And they extend the lead. They're 9-11-65. Gold Coast Suns at 1-3-9. Right foot snapshot from the forward pocket.
Seen a bit of that, haven't we, Brownie?
Yes.
The Swans.
At the 11.5 minute mark here at Blacktown in the third quarter.
Dixon's going to move into ruck for this set of bounce by the look of it. He's a really aggressive ruckman. Probably a little bit different to Zach, who's the athletic, tall jumping ruckman, but Charlie really goes in there, throws his head over the ball and works really hard. So
Sydney Swans with the inclusion of 8 premiership players in the team tonight from the team that played St Kilda last week. And they're certainly providing a young test for the Suns so far tonight. Dixon been thrown into the ruck. Over to Bennell and turn to Matera. Matera looking for Dan Gorringe, had the front position ahead of Malcheski. Kicked 2 goals tonight. Now working hard across that back line. Ball ends up with Rampy. Now Bennell can come in for the Gold Coast. Over the top Free play there was Goran. Tried to tap the ball down. Do the right thing to Matera. May's also involved. And Bennell happy to see the ball over the boundary line. Of course, the Suns announcing a few re-signings throughout the week. Most of the list re-signed up until the end of 2014. Just a few signatures to go. Bennell met solidly hard off the ball there. Picked up by Wilkinson. Sends the ball forward, looking for Jack Martin. What can he do on that right foot on this occasion, the Western Australian? Good pass. Bennell showed courage to get the free kick as well. Hope Bennell's okay. He was met solidly low. Get the free kick. And Harley will try and go back and kick the Suns' second goal of the night. It will be his second as well.
Bit of class there from Jack Martin, the youngest player out on the field tonight, but all class and a good mark there by Harley Bennell.
Yes, as we've been speaking about, 17-year-old can play the seniors in the NAB Cup, but then will revert to the reserves and the NEPA competition for the remainder of the year. And unselfish play there by Harley Bennell, finding Campbell Brown in the left forward pocket. And Brownie kicking 3 goals so far in the NAB Cup competition. The first 2 weeks, including 2 goals last week against North Melbourne. Looking for his first tonight and has split the middle and brings up his first and the Suns' second. And a warm applause there in the background as well for the Gold Coast, which is good to see. A few Hardy supporters out there. 2-3-15. And trial the Sydney Swans who are 9-11-65. We've played almost 14 minutes of the third quarter.
As we touched on, a bit of class there from Martin off to Bennell. So that's what the Suns fans will be looking forward to seeing plenty more in the years to come. A couple of exciting players of the competition, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about them in the next 5 to 10 years.
Swallow coming off the bench straight into the middle to help out Kyle Horsley. He's in at the moment along with looks like Jago O'Meara. And doing the ruck work, Charlie Dixon. As Dixon up against the Canadian there in Pike. Ball just bounces off Swallow. Parker taken a little high. The number 26 for Sydney will take the free kick. Sends the Swans deep into attack. Broughton with the front position and did well there. Take a strong mark under a lot of pressure from the Sydney Swans forwards. So Broughton brings the ball across to Warnock. And we'll seeing plenty of that combination, no doubt, this season across the last line of defence for the Suns, Steve.
Certainly will. Matty Warnock really solid last year. Came running home in the best and fairest, and was a rock down there and during some difficult times as well.
So Riscatelli in turn to Lonigan. Place the bodies down the centre wing and pouncing on it is Charlie Dixon. Now a chance, Stephen May reads the ball at the back of the pack. He's got Gorrington there for support, but the ball just didn't quite bounce the right way. The experience of Grundy for Sydney. And the Swans once again see themselves out of trouble. Malcheski under pressure as he kicked it. And a free kick will go against the Suns. Free kick taken by Everett further down the field.
Swans have made their final substitution.
Okay.
Adam Goods has come off and Mumford on.
So a very light run for Adam Goods tonight. Of course, entering his 15th season. So Shane Mumford has come on. So they're using 2 big men tonight in Mumford and Pike. Ball in the centre. Good mark taken by Bolton. Quickly to Parker, put wide under pressure. Good tackle by Riscatelli. Forces the Swans backwards. Grundy in turn to LRT. That's Lewis Roberts Thompson. Over to Reece Shaw and Jetta. Taking the mark for Sydney now on the outer wing and slows things down. Waiting for his forwards to come up and present themselves further up the field. They do so through McGlynn. And not enough close checking here from the Suns. McVeigh now has the ball. Kick 4 behind so far tonight though for Sydney. A few snapshots. And good work by Jack Martin. He's certainly impressive. The territory is covering the way he reads the ball there, Steve.
Yeah, we've spoken about it a lot. He's an elite young player, but smart reader of the ball and put himself in the right position there. And a strong mark too by Sam Day. And
enjoying life on the Gold Coast, Jack Martin?
Yeah, I think so. His father, Chris, has moved over for a little bit. So just to help him out, it's obviously a big move from Broome over to the Gold Coast, the other side of the country. But he's settled in really well and he's made a great impression on the players, the work rate that he's been able to put in.
Chance for the Gold Coast Suns now. Charlie Dixon from just inside the centre square bombs away. Campbell Brown looks back I'd say a couple of words to him at three-quarter time. Was on the lead there, but a good healthy roost there from Charlie, but only brings up the minor score there for the visitors.
Opportunity here, Campbell Brown. That's a bit of a turnover there from the Suns. I think it was Greg Broughton that centred this ball, and Campbell Brown's taken the mark. About 20 metres out.
Kicked a goal a few minutes ago in the third term, so looking to bring up back-to-back goals for Campbell Brown. And of course, be relishing this experience. Unfortunately, he's got a sit out the first 6 weeks.
Certainly does. So he's got 6 weeks on the sidelines after last year, but I think during that time off he'll be obviously working hard, but he's also got a little runner that goes okay, that's trained by Gay Waterhouse in Sweet Idea, that looks like it'll run the Golden Slipper, so that'll keep him occupied, I'm sure. Will
do, and he makes no mistake too, Campbell Brown. So for the second consecutive week, kicking 2 goals. This time 2 goals in the third quarter here at Blacktown. And that progresses the Suns score onto 3-4-22. Trailed by 43 points. Sydney Swans 9-11-65. We play almost 18.5 minutes of the third quarter. Andrew Brown and Stephen Wilson in the commentary box for you for Suns TV here, with thanks to Fox Footy and the AFL as well, bringing this match on the website tonight.
Suns look like they're making a change here. Mavwell has come onto the ground. Campbell Brown has come off, so he might be the man that's going to sit out the rest of the game. So kick 2 goals, and that's what happens to you.
So just on the phone now to the coaching panel. Currently we have Rory Thompson and Stephen May also on the bench. So a bit more of the small brigade, obviously, perhaps required by the Gold Coast Suns coaching machine at the moment. Kyle Horsley sends the Suns forward once again. We mentioned they kicked 7 out of the last 8 goals last week against Townsville. I'll be hoping to do the same here tonight at Blacktown. But a bit harder to do against the reigning premiers. So Keefe gets the clearing kick out wide, looking for Sam Reid. Hotly pressured though by Wilkinson. Matera bumps his opponent off the ball on that occasion, and Josh Kennedy. So the Suns maintaining possession here. Stanley, left foot kick on the boundary line. Going up high for the mark there is Sam Day. The ball not out of bounds yet. What can he do with it? He's in fact corralled over the line eventually by Andreas Everett.
Solid challenge there from Sam Day up forward. That's what the Suns coaching staff would want to see. A really good contest.
So late in the third quarter, another scoring opportunity here for the Gold Coast as Dixon and Pike do battle there in the ruck. Ball pusher forward. Everett over to McVeigh. High up and under. In front there was Stanley, or Brennan was caught high, I thought, on that occasion. Umpire called play on. A Swallow was dumped as well, so a couple of very heavy exchanges. And the more experienced bodies of Sydney get the ball away. Although Rampy looked away before acceptances on that occasion, allowed Stanley, so good work there by Danny to get the Suns back into attack, eventually through Matera. Sam Day over to Swallow. Swallow runs into the open goal, right foot kick. Burnell goes up high and only through for a minor score. So
he'd be disappointed with that, David. He probably should have kicked that goal. A bit more patience and he would have drilled that.
He actually perhaps the opportunity to run a bit further. So 3-5-23 the Suns move on to. The Sydney Swans 9-11-65, approaching three-quarter time. Warm applause there for Danny Hanbury, getting the mark down the half-back line, standing the mark, the opposite number 4 in Mav Weller, who has just come on, replaced the green jersey, I should say, green vest, the substitute's vest.
It was Campbell Brown that came off, just for those wondering. So 2 goals and sitting out the rest of tonight's game.
Boundary throw in takes place. Dixon up against Pike, and the ball once again has gone out of bounds. Love to hear more of your messages via Twitter and also Facebook. Get those to you when we can. Offering support for the Suns tonight. As Mav Weller breaks the tackle, did well, and good vision out wide by hand to Horsley and turn to O'Meara. With 2 to beat though, Day goes up. Was he held? He does, and he gets the free kick. So good work there. In fact, it's Dan Gorringe standing in between the Swans defenders, and Dan Gorringe will take the free kick.
He's a decent sized player, as you can see on screen, Dan Gorringe. Big, tall, athletic player, strong, and dare I say it, generally a good kick.
Don't put the mods on him, do we, Steve? We're right behind the kick here. Will it come back? And it just faded to the wrong side of the goalpost. So through for a minor score. but showing a lot more attack and vigour in this third quarter, which they obviously needed to after a disappointing end to the second term. But look, they started slowly against North Melbourne to learn from that. So they're just trying to work their way into the game.
Well, that's what they're designed for, these NAB Cup matches, is the opportunity to really drill down on your game heading into the 2013 season. And there's no waste of time out here tonight. We can certainly get a lot out of this, the remaining part of this third quarter and also the last quarter.
Good question there by Danny Stanley, putting a bit of pressure on the veteran Jude Bolton. You could see there that Bolton didn't like it too much, so getting under his skin on that occasion. The number 25 for the Gold Coast.
Jagger O'Meara up to 18 touches for tonight, so he's certainly got plenty of the ball. Probably feeling more comfortable out there at the elite level.
As Tony Armstrong brings the ball away there for Sydney, finds Kennedy, Malcheski. He too gets the ball away. As the Suns defence under pressure now. And good work there. Is that
Jesse Lonigan there?
Jesse Lonigan.
Yeah. Got a free kick there to May, but anyway. Got
the ball away as Burnell trying to hit the ball on the Suns attacking zone on that occasion. Good tackle laid by Stephen May on Ryan O'Keefe. And once again, those little 1%ers on that occasion by Harley Burnell forcing the ball out of bounds, as perhaps Sydney could have got away there onto the forward line once again.
Last 10 minutes for the Suns has been a lot more promising. David Swallow just comes off for a rest, and Brandon Matera on. It'll be fantastic game time for Brandon.
As Kyle Horsley got the clearance away, but only as far as Reece Shaw. And Grundy comes up from the defence. Has the ball in the centre here at Blacktown, over to Armstrong. And his kick couldn't quite reach the target. A chance here for Stanley. Get the ball in the centre. A chance now for Brandon Matera. Looks ahead. He's only got Jack Martin there as a solitary target. And Martin dives on the Blacktown turf. Couldn't quite keep it in. And the Suns can, the Swans, I should say, can recover through Shaw. And turn to Armstrong. And now Jesse White takes the mark on the centre wing. So a couple of promising build-ups there. Just looking to convert.
Getting a bit more of the ball in this latter part of the third quarter. It's really important. We can learn from the mistakes made earlier in the game.
So Sydney, Kennedy, he's ridden into the ground. And the umpire said too high. And the free kick there to Kennedy. Immediately plays on. Kyle Horsley bumping him just as he kicks it. And the play going for the mark there is Pike, but it had already gone through for a minor score. And right on the stroke of three-quarter time, the Sydney Swans maintain that handy lead. They lead by 42 points at the final break. 9-12-66. Gold Coast Suns are 3-6-24. And for the home team, 2 goals each to Nick Malcheski and Adam Goods. Adam Goods, of course, coming up for the break. Singles there to Josh Kennedy, Kieran Jack, Tony Armstrong, Ben McGlynn, Jude Bolton. And for the Suns, 2 goals to Campbell Brown and 1 to Harley Burnell. So final quarter coming up here on Suns and Swans TV. It's the Swans leading by 42 points in the final break. But the final quarter about to get underway. Starting on the bench for the Suns, we have Brandon Matera and also Dan Gorringe, as well as Kyle Horsley. As we thank Marcus Ashcroft, of course, have to go back to coaching duty. So good for Marcus to come in that break there to give us a bit more of an insight there, Steve.
Yeah, back to the coach's box for Marcus, of course, as the GM of footy operations, so overseeing the football department with the coaches in control there.
So the final quarter about to get underway here at Blacktown International Sports Park, and looking forward to a resurgence from the Gold Coast Suns in this final quarter, like they did against Townsville last week. But of course, not easy playing back-to-back away games, that's for sure, and coming off the humidity of Townsville. And the Swans are the first ones into attack, as laying the ball in front of there, Jude Bolton. Oh, great tackle though by David Swallow, picked up by O'Meara. In turn was looking for Harley Burnell, but the Swans able to chop off that avenue. This time O'Keefe kicked the ball down forward, and Rory Thompson up against Mumford. There looks like Mumford playing a forward role for Sydney, picked up there by Rory Thompson.
Brownie, you've seen a lot of the Suns over the first 2 years in the competition. Did you see them being more stronger over the ball and also stronger tackling side tonight?
Well, it's a natural progression too as the players get stronger with more pre-seasons under their belt. So certainly that, you'd be hoping for natural progression. Stephen May, there's one for the highlights reels. Took advantage. He took a spectacular mark on the centre wing. Quick left foot kick. That's a lot better from the Gold Coast. And finds Sam Day able to hold the mark in front of him on that occasion. So huge leap there by Stephen May. That's what he can do. But that's the Sydney Swans can so quickly get the numbers back. So it's forced the Suns a different avenue to goal. Riscatelli and a pinpoint pass there to Mav Weller. Swallow from outside 50 has a shot at goal. Still a chance here for the Gold Coast. Malcheski's there. The ball at ground level. Martin's close to the goal line. Keeps the ball in play. Bit of magic there. Eluded a couple of players. Just smothered the kick though when he tried to get the ball through. And certainly Sydney under plenty of pressure now at the moment for the Gold Coast forwards.
He was elusive, wasn't he, Brownie, there, Jack Martin?
Very slippery indeed there across that goal line, but the ball thrown up there on the umpire on that occasion. But Sydney once again with that clearance, this time by the ever-present Malcheski, and they can't get the ball in play. That time from Sam Reid, so there'll be a boundary throw in. But early attacking move there by the Gold Coast Suns, who trail by 42 points, early stages of the final term, with thanks to the AFL and Fox Footy here on the website, Suns TV.
Unfortunately there, it looks like Jared Brennan, his third man up, has knocked the ball over the boundary line on the full. So the umpire's just conferring here whether that'll be a free kick to the Swans or another boundary throw-in. Boundary throw-in, the end result.
Just a reminder, Carlton already through to the NAB Cup Grand Final. Get that final score from Etihad Stadium for you shortly between Brisbane and Collingwood to see who'll be playing off next Saturday night in Melbourne. From the boundary throw-in, still on the Suns half-forward line, kicking towards the northern end in this final term. Horsley in front of his opponent, beaten to it though by an extra couple of Swans running through. Jared Brennan's had a hard task now to try and chase down Lewis Jetta, who just kept on running. Wilkinson kept his eye on the ball, he did well, although the ball just eludes him and Jared McVeigh at the moment. And the ball goes out of bounds 40 metres around from the Swans goal. So at that match at Etihad tonight, and looks like Brisbane Lions the handy lead. The score in front of me, Steve, they lead by about 30 odd points over Collingwood.
So just refreshing at the moment, so we'll keep you updated on that very quickly.
And so Mick Malthouse might not have to coach against his old team as the Suns move forward there through Stephen May. Now what can Martin do? He had two to beat. He tried to keep the ball in that forward zone well. But once again, there's more experience of the Sydney Swans opponents. Hoping to see the ball outside their defensive 50 zone. Jetta is there, trailing the ball in front of him. On that occasion was McGlynn. And a free kick being paid to advantage go to the Gold Coast. So Brennan from outside 50. He does spot up Martin out the top of the square. Front and square there was Riscatelli. The ball just eludes him. Lewis Roberts Thompson ducked the head, got the ball,
he was
picked
looking
the ball
for the
up.
tackle there.
He was looking for the tackle and the ball held to him. So at least the Gold Coast Suns can retain possession there just in front of their goal. It's only 20 metres out on a nice balmy night in Western Sydney here at Blacktown. So from the disappointing their clearance has allowed Sydney to get the ball away easily. Murphy going back the flight of the ball, couldn't quite hold it. Going there to help there is Joel Wilkinson. He was strongly tackled there by Ryan O'Keefe. Murphy though recovered as Weller sends the ball there, looking there towards Jago O'Meara, and the ball beats all comers over the boundary line. So no addition here at this stage to the three-quarter time score. Sydney still showing the way by 42 points, 66 to 24. Now a chance once again for the Gold Coast. May there trying to intercept that handball, but Lewis Roberts Thompson sends the ball away outside defensive 50. Good work by Greg Broughton, the former Docker. He can go all the way if he wants to. A little bit underside at the end, and in the end he kicked the ball up and under. Almost an Amira mark there in the left forward pocket. Players just dive on top of him. As the ball comes out towards the Aaron Hall direction. Picked up by once again by Broughton. Ball goes in after it again. Sydney though with the numbers around the ball. Parker in turn to McGlynn. McGlynn shakes off his pursuers, kicks the ball up towards the wing. Mumford against Thompson. Thompson brings the ball down to the ground, eludes a tackle of McGlynn, went inside to Warnock. So good combination work there by Gold Coast, and Horsley settles the ball down and sends the ball back there to half-back line to Thomas Murphy. Dangerous kick towards the centre. Gorringe, the second attempt took the mark. Now they've got the runners out wide. Here's a chance here for Lonergan. Gets around his opponent, goes further afield. And the kick inside and not finishing the way that Guy McKenna would have on that occasion.
Yeah, disappointing finish there. I think it might have been Michael Riscatelli there and the outer wing.
It's amazing how much plays there on that outer wing.
Very difficult to see from our position there, Brownie.
But hope you're enjoying the coverage on the website tonight. With thanks once again to Fox Footy and the AFL. As now the Swans look dangerous. They find a bit of open space in their forward line. Unselfish play there from Kieran Jack. And the two co-captains combining there for Sydney. And the mark's been taken by Jared McVeigh. And he will have a set shot from goal from just inside the 50. So far kicking 4 behinds tonight. He's had mainly snapshots, but a chance for a set shot at goal for the number 3.
Something the Suns haven't been able to do tonight is move the ball fluently to their forward line and find numbers inside 50.
So McVeigh, and I think he's off target again here. He looks around in disbelief. So brings up the 5th behind for the number 3, but it's the first score of the final term. 9-13-67, and the Suns 3-6-24. Really, Suns looking forward to a late rush of goals here, as a bit of miscommunication there between Broughton and May. Luckily, one of them able to touch the ball. The ball now for a throw-in. Putting support in the grandstand here at Blacktown. Of course, week 3 of the NAB Cup. And these two teams still involved next week. Where are the Suns looking at playing next week, Steve, for the supporters there listening through Suns TV?
Yeah, look, the AFL will announce it obviously after this final round of NAB Cup matches. There'll be the NAB Cup Grand Final, which I think will be between Brisbane and Carlton at Etihad Stadium. But we're hoping that we'll play a game up in southeast Queensland, and at this stage it's looking at might be at Southport. So if you stay tuned to goldcoastfc.com.au, we'll have all the details there as soon as that game's announced. As
Swallow had a devil of a time trying to keep the ball trailing in front of him on that occasion. McGlynn's in there for Sydney. The ball close to the Sydney Swans goal line, or just getting the kick away there was the Suns defence. They bring the ball out past defence at 50 now, as the Swans try and apply a bit of pressure, and the ball will be once again thrown in front of the interchange area, where Harley Jack Martin taking a well-deserved break there at the moment. As the throw-in takes place, picked up here by Jude Bolton, sends the Swans into attack. I thought Thompson might have been held. Umpire called play on. And once again, the boundary umpire required to do the work as Riscatelli takes a break and Jack Martin comes on.
Just looking at a few of the stats here, and we'll start off, look at the worm there and the margins, and Marcus Ashcroft touched on it at 3/4 time. It really was only a period there during the second quarter where the Swans really kicked away for the majority of the first quarter, and indeed the third quarter. This game's been fairly even, although it might have been scrappy at times, but it's another area, it's a period of the game where the Suns have let themselves down, and that's why there's the big margin here tonight. It's a brief period of concentration that the Suns have lacked.
So Burnell and Brennan combined on the outer half-back flank, looking for Aaron Hall further up the field, but good spoiling tactics there by Sydney, and Brandon Matera couldn't keep the ball in. So this time the play has transferred to the outer wing.
Jared McVeigh's picked up 30 disposals now for the Swans. He's a possession leader here on the ground. Josh Kennedy with 23, Jetta and Hanbury, and Grundy also with 23. 20 disposals there for Jager O'Meara.
Good tackle there by Sam Day on Lewis Roberts. Thompson coming through hard there was Charlie Dixon. Could have got a free kick there as well, as held without the ball. Wilkinson to Lonergan. And the Tassie boys tries to maul the ball forward. And now there'll be a bounce right on the edge of the centre square.
That's what the Suns coaches like there from Charlie Dixon. Nice and strong over the footy. And although he didn't win it forward on this occasion, he was fairly strong. Jack Martin there, third man up. He's got a leap on him as well. As
Martin goes down. Stays down there for the moment. I Hopefully he's not hurt. Keep an eye for the moment, Steve. Probably just a bit of cramp as McVeigh breaks the lines. And Sam Reid couldn't hold the mark though. Allows Wilkinson in. Under pressure. Got the handball away there to Dan Gorringe. Just short of the centre circle. Over to Weller. Disappointing kick there by Weller on occasion. As Dixon was on the lead, but went to the wrong man. Went to the number 25, Teddy Richards for Sydney. Xavier Richards played last week, but not playing this week for the Swans. As Jude Bolton takes the mark at centre half back. Oh, a fumble there by the Swans defence. Allows Jared Brennan in. Brennan from just inside 50. Can he split the middle? He does. And Jared Brennan, reading the play there well, capitalise on the Swans' mistake. And the Suns pick up their 4th goal of the night. 4 goals, 6-30. And Sydney 9-13-67. Margin of 37 points. We've played 11.5 minutes of the final term.
Suns well and truly in the play here in the last quarter, making an impact on the scoreboard. Margin at 37 points. Hopefully we'll be able to score another couple of goals before the end of play here tonight.
So Jared Brennan kicking a goal in each of the 3 weeks so far of the NAB Cup, and certainly the Suns fans would like to see him kick plenty of goals in this season. So he might be used a bit of a forward role, midfield forward role, seeking down forward. And certainly he can be a dangerous player. Hard to believe he's been 10 years in the system now, Jared Brennan. I remember that first night, his first senior game
against Collingwood, was it?
Collingwood, the Brisbane Lions, and it certainly was a magnificent night, and certainly had a very good pre-season as far as the Suns are concerned, and hopefully he can kick plenty of goals for the Gold Coast this season. The ball now in the Swans forward line, so the Suns defence under pressure once again, ducking their head there. That's why the umpire called play on was McVeigh, and now he's been pinged for it. So good work there by the Gold Coast defence.
Of course, we've spoken a bit tonight about Gary Ablett and Carmichael Hunt not being there for the Suns. Tom Lynch is also out. He'll be out for quite a few weeks now with a foot injury. Unfortunately, he rolled his ankle in the last quarter there against Brisbane. So Tom Lynch will be out for a while, as will Trent McKenzie, as he builds his program back after knee injury. Of course, Nathan Bock coming back from that horrific broken leg. He's coming along slowly, and they'll be patient with Nathan because it's important that he gets it back and gets his leg right. And also Seb Tate coming back from that knee reconstruction. Going all along well with Seb. He's just building that strength back, and hopefully we'll see him in the early to mid part of the season.
So after a scrappy bit of play, a free kick here to the Suns. Hall goes up, and the ball beats all players, and certainly Jager O'Meara feeling the effects of a hard night tonight. He's coming off for a well-earned rest. And Jack Martin getting treatment on his legs as well down the interchange bench. Kick away there by Josh Kennedy in the clinches, setting the Swans forward. Jude Bolton is there. Quick kick away. Now a chance here for Swallow. Beautiful one-handed pick-up by number 24. Bennell in support. Those two on a couple of seasons under their belt, now playing alongside each other. So they know each other well. Ball ends back with Rory Thompson. He goes out wide, and Sam Day takes a mark out in front of him. Just back where the ball started from, right underneath the commentary position.
Taken 10 marks tonight, Sam Day, so that's really encouraging for the Suns coaching staff that Sam's been managed to take 10 marks.
Horsley picks the ball up, the ball quickly to boot. Now a chance to risk it. Telly Matera on his inside. Matera left foot snap, 25 metres out, and that's back-to-back goals there for the Gold Coast Suns.
Very impressive there, Brandon Matera. We know he can finish off. He's a quality young player, and we've seen a lot of that in his first 2 years in the system. On his left foot, threads it through. And the Suns get another one back, 5-6-36 to the Sydney Swans, 9-13-67.
Pick that margin back to 31 points. Certainly well and truly hang around the 40 points there for too long there, Steve.
It was. It's good to see, as we said, these NAB Cup matches, they're practice matches, and you get something out of every bit of play here. So it's important that they finish off the game strongly here tonight.
Well, as they did last week. So, I mean, that is a good sign, but you don't want teams getting away. But if you know that you've got capabilities there fitness-wise to run out the game, if the margin's a little bit narrow when you start your comeback, and then better things will happen.
Probably wasn't as slow a start, well, it was on the scoreboard, but the game was pretty tight early, so it wasn't if the Swans got a jump on them. but it was certainly tight on the scoreboard.
Suns go forward again. O'Meara trying to stand his ground there. Might have been a Swallow. Tried to take the mark. Ball now in a pack situation at centre half forward. Players looking around for support from the umpire from both teams. Jared Brennan saying Rampy held the ball in. I want the free kick. Umpire Chris Cameron disagrees. So I'll be throwing the ball up. Still another scoring opportunity. Great tap down there. Ends up with Harley Burnell. That's 3 in a row to the Gold Coast. So they are finishing hard here at Blacktown. And the more parochial Swans crowd a little bit quiet at the moment as the Suns certainly finishing full of running.
Might have been Dan Gorringe there in the ruck that, that got the hit out down to Harley Burnell.
So Harley brings up his third goal of the NAB Cup campaign, his second goal tonight. Kicked a goal in the second term, now in the fourth quarter. So the Suns close the gap once again at 6-6-42. Sydney Swans 9-13-67. We've played 16.5 minutes. See what reaction this comes from John Longmire. No doubt he would have wanted a strong finish by the Swans.
There's no doubt the players have got some confidence out of the finish in Townsville last week and real confidence in the high performance program. Stephen Schwert, we know, produces big, tough and fit sides, and there's some evidence of that tonight.
Well, there's another chance here. Day has the ball back to O'Meara. Got the original clearance, followed the ball down. Jager O'Meara, and that would have been a wonderful goal. But he just misses to the left-hand side, so a minor score there to the Gold Coast. And Jager O'Meara appears on the score sheet for the first time, albeit with a minor score. So 43 plays 67. Margin back within 4 goals here in the fourth quarter. Sydney with the ball on the outer side. And off the hands there of Mumford. So, in fact, the ball might have gone out of bounds before it reached the hands of Mumford. So, free kick here going to Martin. Squares it up. Made the big fly from Dixon. He got front of square to Matera. He was strongly tackled, though, on that occasion. Ball ends up with Malcheski over a teammate there in Reece Shaw. Once again, the ball dribbles out towards that half back line. This time, Sydney do keep it in. They just pummel the ball forward. They don't want the Suns attacking them too much at this late stage. Warnock, though, time to pick it up. Murphy, as now's the ball once again. Tommy Murphy looking for a way clear. Goes out wide there to Wilkinson. Couldn't quite trap the ball. And the ball goes over the line.
That last, I suppose, scuffle inside the forward 50 there, they really need to hold the ball inside 50 there, the Suns. The good sides do it often. When there's a 50-50 ball to win, if you can't win it, you've at least got to nullify the contest and then cause a stoppage.
So the ball back in the centre at Blacktown as Jared Brennan elects to go the handball this time to Matera. He's got space to run from just inside the centre square. Look, spots up. Dixon held his position well, but tackled high. Umpire call play on. Hall goes now to ground. Ball's underneath him. Probably needs to get rid of it. Dixon goes in, battling there once again for the Gold Coast. So tired Aaron Hall gets up on that occasion as Sydney send the ball out through Reece Shaw. Reid comes up the back of the pack. Brennan keeps the ball in, fakes the dummy inside. Ball ends up with Horsley. Horsley now once again to the hot spot at the top of the square. Need the big flyers.
No one down for the Suns. Swans will clear this and have Bolton free on the outer side.
And they do so. So the veteran Jude Bolton takes the mark. Let's see what the Swans' counter-attack is. Jesse White now runs towards the half-back flank, but Jude Bolton couldn't quite find the target, but White does keep the ball there on the bounce back to Everett. Everett now sends the ball across the half-forward. They're looking there for Josh Kennedy. Reed's also there. Outnumbered, there's more White jumpers, but Kennedy busts through the pack, goes into the open goal and seals it for Sydney late in the final term with the Swans' 10th goal. And also Josh Kennedy's second goal of the night. In fact, he kicked the first goal of the match. So he too brings up 2 goals. And Sydney 10-13-73, Gold Coast 6-7-43.
Jack Martin just coming off clutching his elbow there, so hopefully he's okay. We'll keep you updated on that as soon as we can get some info from the Suns bench. Doesn't look too bad, but just his right elbow there, he seems to be favouring that as Jared Brennan comes on to replace him. He's had a good night out, Jack Martin. Certainly showed everyone watching tonight that he's got a player of the future. He's had
disposal as they stand.
Yeah, he's picked up as we scroll through the stat sheet, 7 disposals. He had 5 kicks and 2 handballs, but it's probably been his excitement and his speed around the ground that's been impressive for Jack.
Aaron Hall also receiving some treatment on his legs at the moment. Sydney through Park with the centre clearance, looking dangerous once again. Josh Kennedy spending a bit of time on the forward line now, later stages of this fourth quarter, as the kick came out of the Suns' defence.
Might be a result of the forced changes early in the second half, in the first half there for the Swans, which is why Kennedy might be moved forward to finish off this game.
Yes, Alex Johnson coming off the leg injury, and Craig Bird with the knock to the head. So had to make some early substitutions, the reigning premiers. Jesse White now has the ball in his hands here underneath. It's on the broadcast side. Likes to go long, big pack form. Plenty of Suns there, of course, in their new clash trip for season 2013, Steve.
Certainly are. 2XU, the new apparel sponsor for the Gold Coast Suns this year, and the clash trip's been very popular with fans. I know the merchandise shop's been selling quite a number of the new clash strips. They're very popular.
As Jude Bolt has a snapshot at goal from almost 50 metres out, and once again just through for the minor score. 74 now plays 43. Suns here, good to play and pick up, get over the half century before the final siren. They're going to come inboard here through, on that occasion, Broughton. Goes by hand back to Harley Bennell. Play goes down the outer side, picked up by Weller. Showing a bit of dash there, but forced to turn back there from the Swans' defence.
Didn't have much forward there, Matt Weller.
Harley Bennell, he does go by hand there to Swallow. Back to Weller, but his kick slid off the boot. That was good defensive work there by Lewis Jetta there on the outer side.
Swans, as they always do, get back in numbers, and Dan Gorringe and Sam Day were outnumbered there, and the Suns deciding to hold on to the ball where possible.
Dixon doing battle there in the ruck, over the back there, Bennell looking for the clearance. Instead it falls to Bolton, picked up eventually by Charlie Dixon. Sends the ball inside 50 for the Gold Coast. Day had the front position. Jared Brennan goes diving after the ball. Rampy, little toe poke through. O'Meara's there. Good vision, spot up Harley Bennell. In turn, Lonigan forced outside. He's attacking 50. Waiting for the handball there was Broughton, but undone by the work of Andreas Everett. As the ball now ends up in the centre of the ground. Reid, free kick given away on that occasion. Been unlucky by Broughton. And the free kick will go to Kieran Jack in the centre of the ground here at Western Sydney.
Charlie Dixon certainly giving it his all here in the second half. And as we speak, actually running down, sprinting down to the back half to pick up the big Mumford down there.
So the forced to wait there was Kieran Jack. And certainly he does look set for a pretty good season 2013. Ball goes out wide. Wilkinson affects the ball there ahead of Kennedy. Dixon out there helping as well. Close to the boundary line, McVeigh. Corralled there by Aaron Hall. Got the handball away though to Ryan O'Keefe. O'Keefe now switches play to his right boot towards the hot spot. Oh, good work there. Daniel Gorrin's been held with one hand. Still got the kick away. Horsley. As play now just held up on centre half forward. No player really forward of the centre circle, so the Suns are flooding back, and there's about 6 red and white jumpers just inside the centre square there, just making a line across. Mal Chesky it is. He's going to take a long range at goal, and it's something he does like to do, Steve. He's already kicked 2 tonight. This one from just inside the centre square, a 60-metre roosted across the line, not quite. Parker's there, front and square though, picks up the crumbs and puts in another goal through for Sydney.
Too good there, the Swans.
Picks up his first for the night. And it's the Swans 11th. So 11-14-80, Gold Coast Suns 6-7-43. So after a mini challenge, the Suns got 3 unanswered goals. The Swans have hit back late in the fourth term.
24-point margin, I think it was, and now out to 37, which is disappointing. Joel Wilkinson's just come off the ground here. He's had a big night, Joel, chasing a lot of tail down that back half. We know he's an extremely fit player, but he's had a big night chasing a lot of ball down there, and he certainly earned a spell here tonight.
Well, they came here tonight to test themselves against the reigning premiers. They brought 8 premiership players back in. They had 19 of the 22 playing tonight. It certainly has been a stern test for the Suns, but hopefully I'll learn by that. And of course, come back in round 2 at the SCG. Let's go to Jason. Got some more messages. I'll just in fact, before we do, the ball does go down the Suns forward line. Brennan from an impossible angle has a snapshot of goal, and eventually just through for the minor score. Jason Sintome.
We've
on
just
the social media.
Yeah, we've just heard from Michael Whiting, AFL writer, that the Gold Coast will be hosting Melbourne at Southport next Saturday from 11:30 a.m. So there you go, a game for Gold Coast fans on the Gold Coast.
Fish, he's all across it, Fish, well done.
So Southport, and we're playing against Melbourne, the Demons.
A really good final hit out it'll be for the Suns heading into round 1 against St Kilda. Great opportunity against Melbourne at Southport, and for all the Gold Coast Suns fans who came along in force, I think 2,500 walk-ups there to round 1 of the NAB Cup. They'll be able to get to Southport next week.
So the final siren rings here at Blacktown, and in the end it is a comfortable win to the reigning premiers, 11-14-80 over the Gold Coast Suns, 6-8-44, margin of 36 points. Goal kickers for Sydney, 2 goals apiece to Nick Malcheski coming on as a sub there in the second turn. Kicked those 2 goals in the second quarter. 2 goals as well to Josh Kennedy and Adam Good before he was subbed off. The rest were all singles. Kieran Jack, Tony Armstrong, Ben McGlynn, Jude Bolton and Luke Parker. And for the Gold Coast, 2 goals apiece to Harley Bennell and Campbell Brown. And then singles to Jared Brennan and also Brandon Batira. Swans winning by 36 points here at Blacktown on this Saturday night, week 3 of the NAB Cup. But quick summary, Gold Coast Suns, what they'll take away from this night tonight, Steve Wilson.
Yeah, look, there's a little bit to take away. I think the form of Jager O'Meara, he'll certainly get a lot of confidence out of that heading into round 1 of the 2013 season. Jack Martin, he's played 3 games now in the NAB Cup. There's plenty to like about him, and it's certainly something that Suns fans who watch the NEFL throughout the year will enjoy, his skill and his pace. Sam Day up forward, taking 10 grabs tonight, so that'll be really good. That's really good for Sam, who's struggled probably to hold a number of marks in the early stage of the pre-season. So to take 10 tonight is very good for him. And also, if you look through the list, Michael Riscatelli back, first game back, 16 possessions, so got amongst it. But David Swallow also with 17. So there's a bit to like there for the Suns. Very disappointing though during the second quarter. That's probably why the margin reflects what it is tonight. But for probably 2.5 quarters at least against the competition's best, the Suns challenged really hard.
And that's what Guy McKenna's looking for, isn't it? Just to play those longer minutes through each match. There's going to be patches, unfortunately, but if they just reduce those lapses and stay in the game a lot longer. And
certainly those parts when the opposition tend to get that run on is where the Suns need to learn to slow the game down and also get it back on top and nullify the contest.
Thanks for your work tonight, and also you, Jason Sintome. Thank you very much for looking after the social media there tonight for the Gold Coast Suns.
Well done, Brownie. Great job, Willow.
Thank you.
And also thanks once again to Fox Footy and the AFL for making this broadcast possible tonight on the website and the club pages, including Suns TV. So we look forward to Southport next Saturday morning. It'll be 11:30 a.m. local time when the Gold Coast Suns have their final practice match against the Melbourne Demons there on the Gold Coast. But for now, from Blacktown here, this is Andrew Brown wishing you all a very good night.